A nuclear war nightmare that has been out of public consciousness for decades has been revived by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. There are concerns that Russia will use nuclear weapons to break out of the war stalemate. The five permanent members of the UN Security Council, Russia, the United States, the United Kingdom, China, and France, are recognized as nuclear powers under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. But Camille Grant, former Assistant Secretary General of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, said that, quote-unquote, this is the first time a nuclear power has used its position to wage a conventional war while threatening to use nuclear weapons, told the AFP. The moral and strategic nuclear taboos that underpinned the Cold War era global security architecture after the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of World War II is still maintained. But discourse around nuclear weapons is escalating. Since the start of the invasion of Ukraine, Russian television has repeatedly discussed nuclear attacks on cities in Western countries, such as Paris in France and New York in the United States. A former Russian diplomat who asked to remain anonymous warned that President Vladimir Putin would press the nuclear button if he judged that his country's survival was in danger. In 2007, Nobel Prize-winning economist Thomas Schelling said that the use of nuclear weapons, the greatest thing in the past half-century, is that it never happened. However, the framework that has become a nuclear deterrent since 1945 has been crumbling for a long time. In 2002, the United States withdrew from the 1972 Anti-Ballistic Missile Restriction Treaty with the former Soviet Union. After that, important agreements such as the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty also expired. Grant said that, quote-unquote, when it comes to disarmament, everything has collapsed except for the new Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. India, North Korea, and Pakistan are the only countries other than the five major powers that possess nuclear weapons. Israel has never officially acknowledged it, but is believed to have it. North Korea, which withdrew from the NPT in 2003, conducted a series of missile tests this year. In September, it adopted the Nuclear Armed Policy Ordinance, which does not hesitate to launch a preemptive strike. The governments of Japan, the United States, and South Korea believe that the country may soon conduct its seventh nuclear test. Non-nuclear weapon states in Asia are concerned about the prying of the protection provided by the U.S. nuclear umbrella. Chung-Min Lee, a researcher at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, said that, quote-unquote, if extended deterrence such as the U.S. nuclear umbrella is likened to a water balloon, a deadly hole will open and the water will escape. It is seeping out. China will also continuing to build up its nuclear arsenal, and according to an analyst by the U.S. Department of Defense, the number of nuclear warheads it possesses will reach 1,000 within 10 years, roughly on par with the United States. In the Middle East as well, efforts to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear deal have run into difficulties, rekindling concerns that Iran may become a nuclear threshold state with the will and ability to develop nuclear weapons. Ukraine willingly abandoned its nuclear weapons deployed during the Soviet era and transferred them to Russia. However, the country has been invaded by a nuclear-armed country, raising concerns about nuclear proliferation. Jean-Louis Locher, head of the French Navy's nuclear forces and now an advisor to the Center of Strategic Studies at the Institute of International Relations, a French think tank, said that, quote-unquote, it may now be appropriate to ask whether or not countries should have their own nuclear weapons. I am Lovely Montoya of Manila STV.